This is the story of the Fitzgibbon crime family. How they rose to the top of Liverpool's criminal underworld. Their ruthlessness, their violence, and the bloodshed left in their wake. Some say the war began with the murder of David Ungi. Others say it started long before, in prison corridors, on Liverpool streets, in the shadows of Toxteth, and in whispered warnings passed from dealers to foot soldiers long before the bullets ever flew. But for those who lived through the chaos, who stood on the front lines of Liverpool's criminal underworld, there's no doubt about it. David Ungi's murder wasn't the beginning, but it was the spark that set the city on fire. It was May 1995, when 36-year-old David Ungi, a feared and respected associate of the Fitzgibbon family, was gunned down outside the Cheers pub on Ullett Road, just a short walk from Sefton Park. Witnesses heard several shots. Ungi collapsed and bled out on the pavement. The killer disappeared into the night, calm and efficient. This wasn't a botched robbery. This wasn't a drug deal gone wrong. This was an execution, an opening move. The man alleged to have pulled the trigger, Johnny Phillips, a trusted enforcer in the inner circle of Curtis "Cocky" Warren, once known as Europe's most dangerous drug trafficker. The shooting was not personal.
Shot dead in broad daylight as children played nearby. The latest
One or more
casualty
gunmen firing up to 7 shots from an automatic weapon as Today, police said the killing could be linked to gang wars in South Liverpool.
It wasn't just over a pub, it was business. Ungi had been pushing Fitzgibbon influence into Warren territory, acting too bold, too loud, and Warren, even from behind bars or across borders, was never a man to be disrespected. Ungi's death was Warren's way of drawing a line in blood. The Fitzgibbons crossed it. He answered. But the Fitzgibbons didn't retreat. They came back harder. Just weeks later, gunfire shattered the quiet of Park Road as shots rang out at a known Warren safe house. The house was riddled with bullets, though no one was killed, no arrests, no cooperation. On the street, everyone knew what it meant. Curtis Warren's grip on Liverpool was being challenged by a family who weren't just ruthless. They were organised, connected, and deeply ambitious.
This family were described as the Sopranos of Merseyside.
Their mission to become top dogs of Liverpool
Come on, bring on, mate.
turns into a battle for supremacy.
If you crossed them, or they believed that you had crossed them, you couldn't be left to walk the streets without the signs that the Fitzgibbons had extracted their penalty.
Their violent reputation helps them build their empire.
They had a network of couriers available to distribute the drugs, and they had the ready contacts for the customers.
This is the story of their rise to become narco kingpins of the Liverpool underworld.
And the Fitzgibbon crime family did rise to the top of the underworld. But there was a lot of blood shed along the way. There were gangland hits, turf wars, murder, extortion, and torture. The Fitzgibbon family wasn't afraid of violence. They embraced it. They used it to maintain their fierce reputation. Anyone who crossed them paid the price. It didn't matter your age or gender. If you stepped out of line, you were dealt with. Even the G brothers from Everton, in the north of Liverpool, learned this the hard way after they stole drugs from a stash house. Here is Darren G.
Me and Danny, we used to go to Vale and buy a weed, but we went to buy a weed this day and he's not answering his door. Noel Collins, yeah, little family off the estate. So we're watching this flat door, me and Danny, and we see these two juice heads, one from the south end. They were both from the south end actually, just big steg heads going in and out the flat. So I thought, hang on, something's going on in there. So we just burst it, me and Danny. Went right in. Went into the kitchen and it was like 4.5 bars of weed. You know, pucks of weed. You know, 9.5 ounce bars. But back in the day, they were worth a bit of dough, you know. So we've gone in there, took it, got off. Sold a puck here, sold a puck there. The people who we sold a puck to informed the people that they bought it off us. So before we know it, we've got the Fitzgibbon family looking for us. I'm not lying, lad. Messy. Got the Fitzgibbon family looking for us. Anyway, they caught for Danny. They kidnapped Danny. Danny's 15 or something. They kidnapped him, took him away, took him to that flat, took him in the cellar of the flat that we'd kicked in, tied him to a chair and sat the chairs on breeze blocks. They absolutely tortured the life out of Danny, them Fitzgibbons. What they done with Danny, anyone that knows Danny and knows, I've seen Danny with his top off, you will have recognised 15-inch scars across his back in an X. That's what the Fitzgibbon family done to him. Like that never gets forgot, does it? Ever.
Between 2003 and 2005, a brutal shadow war unfolded. Police reports noted a dramatic rise in gun crime. Drive-by shootings, petrol bombings, ambushes, all surgical, all professional. In 2004, a shooting on Princes Avenue left 2 injured and 1 man dead. A hit believed to be ordered by Jason Fitzgibbon himself. Curtis Warren's name scrawled in the blood left behind. Around the same time, another attack nearly claimed the life of Martin Donnelly, a known Fitzgibbon ally. His car was lit up by automatic fire on Smithdown Road in broad daylight. Miraculously, he survived. Witnesses said nothing. Retaliation was expected and delivered. It wasn't just about drugs anymore. This was about territory, about family, about legacy. Curtis Warren had ruled Liverpool's underworld throughout the 1990s, smuggling drugs on a scale the British press had never seen, shipping multi-million-pound cocaine loads from South America to Holland, using ports, private planes, and even the Panama Canal. He was feared not just in Liverpool, but across Europe. And even after his arrest and conviction in 1996, his lieutenants ran operations in his name. But while Warren served time in Dutch and then UK prisons, another empire was rising. One rooted in a modest semi-detached home in West Derby, run not by a cartel, but a matriarch. Christine Fitzgibbon wasn't just another gangster's wife or mother. She was the boss. A quiet operator with links stretching across the continent, she ran her crew like a business. And her sons, Jason and Ian, were her senior managers. Jason was aggressive, hot-headed, and feared for his violence. Ian was colder, more strategic, responsible for laundering, logistics, and maintaining a steady pipeline of narcotics from Spain, Holland, and beyond. Their structure was tight. Their code was silence. Their methods were modern. As Warren's grip weakened, the Fitzgibbons expanded, importing kilos, distributing across county lines, moving money through front businesses, and investing in technology that helped them stay one step ahead of the law. But power never goes unnoticed. In response to the rising wave of gangland violence and drug flow, Merseyside Police and the Serious Organised Crime Agency launched Operation Thorium, one of the most significant investigations in the city's history. The task force monitored phone calls, intercepted encrypted messages, followed cash trails from Liverpool to Spain. undercover officers tracked drops, coded conversations, and international shipments. The Fitzgibbons believed they were untouchable, and for a time, they were. That illusion ended in 2011, when police finally made their move. Armed units executed coordinated raids at dawn across Liverpool, Manchester, and Malaga. Christine was arrested in her bedroom. Jason and Ian were arrested within minutes. Dozens of associates followed. Inside the homes, police found everything: encrypted devices, high-end designer goods, cash-stuffed safes, detailed drug ledgers, and contact lists full of names from Spain to Eastern Europe. In court, prosecutors described the Fitzgibbons as an upper-tier organized crime group, more akin to a European syndicate than a local gang. The court heard how they handled over £7 million in drugs in a single operation. Christine Fitzgibbon was sentenced to 12 years. Jason received 14. Ian got 13. And just like that, the dynasty crumbled. The gang war that had dominated Liverpool's underworld since the early 2000s was over. There was no final shootout between Curtis Warren and the Fitzgibbons. No cinematic ending. Just cold steel cells, long sentences, and a city left reeling from years of violence, fear, and bloodshed. For Liverpool, the damage was done, but criminal power is never left unclaimed. As Curtis Warren faded into the background, and as the Fitzgibbons were caged, a new name began to circulate in hushed tones on Merseyside streets. Was John Hass and Paul Bennett. We will go into their royal pardon they received. 11 months into an 18-year prison sentences for heroin smuggling, and the void they filled in the Liverpool underworld. So click the notification icon, the little bell to be notified of when episode 3 is released. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Please like and share the video. But most importantly, please smash that subscribe. Till next time, folks.